checked out the title, yeah, we're talking about Belle. I've seen it about 3 times, both twice in Japanese and the one time in English, and it's taken me a minute to kind of get to this review point because it's a lot. It was a nice movie. It's a lot to unpack, and aside from time constraints and real life duties or whatever, I really wanted to let it marinate a bit, and I definitely wanted to catch that English showing, which was a little bit harder because English showings don't sell as much, so the theaters don't have learned to not put as much of those up. But which is kind of unfortunate because actually starting off, this Bell, directed by Masahiro Mamoru Hosoda, is very well known for his studio Chizu, which is the people who created from the beginning. He did the Digimon movie, and then his first self-directive live one was The Girl That Leapt Through Time. So along those lines, you got the other guy really hitting these life lessons in animated movies, and from a very high schooler perspective, which is always this is what we've come to know from anime. Life ends once you graduate from high school. But yeah, so along the same lines, definitely a interesting movie that gets a lot of points, bonus points for me, because the English side of it was really well produced. As in, you have to understand that they get the English side, they get the material, and then there's a director out there that has to really work, find out how he can work words, phrases, and specifically in this movie, lyrics, because this is a super lyrical movie. It's essentially like a musical, and it does really well. It does really really well in the English department. The voice actress for the English singer is fairly really really close to I think her name is Milliam, the Japanese singer, or at least that's the band or whatever. And they went above and beyond to really get that English translation right, because I feel like this was the big push of, look, all you all you normies out there, this is Beauty and the Beast animated. Um, just not American cartoon animations, Japanese style animated, and it takes place in the 20th first century, which is a utopia of internet and internet world and communication with the internet, that being the whole universe on the internet. Sounds very familiar because that's exactly what we're going through in this moment. This is the internet age, and we're all just so connected that it's believable. Everything that they kind of, well, except for like maybe like the little the iPods, what is it? The AirPods that biometrically scan your body. We'll get there, but it's not here yet. But we'll get there. That being said, it felt very believable, and it felt very like in the moment. Like, look, this is it now, and this is where it can be headed in the future. So I do feel like the English marketing push was a great idea, because all you need to say is, look, it's Japanese Beauty and the Beast, and it's in English. And it, hopefully the world will take it by storm, and it will create more waves, in the anime industry on the English side specifically. I'm hoping that this is doing really well over in the Japanese seas, but so far, in the theaters, the 3 times that I've seen it, they've had pretty decent filled showings. So that to me is a positive, because we just want the industry to grow. So that all that in the English side, the marketing, with the the pandemic that we're still in, and trying to get people into theaters, it was really nice to see it doing well from the in theater perspective. I can't say how well it did in the universe because I saw it in I think two different theaters, so I only have those two options. But from what I understand, I think it's doing really well. So very excited about it. I hope it does really well because getting into the plot and the topic and all that, right? It is a very personal story, which is great because, again, with these topics of the internet age, kind of what we're doing all with the YouTube and Instagrams, it's how do you deal with all your personal issues while you're presenting another face in the universe, in the digital universe. And that's kind of like the what I took it to be, the whole concept. Yes, there is a like a sort of a romantic ish but supportive narrative that we'll also get into, but I really want to focus on the in the now, in this universe. How do we maneuver, and how do we just come to terms with what the universe is in this moment? And I feel like the this anime, the studio Chizu, they did a good job of really giving little bits and details of the main character, yes, but also the supporting cast, and the idea that yes, there's this grand fantastical internet stardom event happening to the main character, but then there's also people in the universe and people in her world, both real and the digital, that are doing their own things, whether it be a positive experience, a negative experience, or a uh, a serious traumatic, or just trying to deal with the idea of I guess being happy, because there's specifically a line in that movie where um, a supporting group of older female friends are are asked by her, how does one become happy, and they're all kind of like, well, you just kind of go with it. But touching on those spaces, right? It's very very cool for a anything, whether it be any media type of media, whether it be a show or a movie, to get meta, but in a not meta to be like, ooh, this is the Matrix and it's so meta. More of a meta as in like, yeah, this is these are possible outcomes that we're gonna present to you, and you deal with it. For lack of a better term, you deal with it, as in try to understand what is happening, and putting yourself in their shoes. How would you deal with it? How would your emotions kick in? And watch us try to do something with those emotions, whether it be what you expected or whether it be something completely different out of the ballpark. And that was great. That was really good. There's a couple times in this movie where I did feel like things were being things were too obvious, and I'm glad that by the end of the film there was enough to be like, oh well, those are just assumptions. at at the end of the film, you feeling a certain way, you're assuming an ending, or you're assuming certain things that are happening in each other's or the supporting cast scenarios. But those are assumptions, and the thing is, you never really know unless you've been told, or you've been shared, or someone explains it to you. Someone who's going through it explains to you what is happening, and that's a really important lesson to take, because assumptions are dangerous in this age where the internet is just available to everybody. Well, most of the people, but everybody. We tend to really stop holding back, specifically because in this universe, internet digital universe, where nobody really knows who you really are, there's this veil of secrecy that a lot of people take advantage of, and really some people just use it as their outlet to go to understand or go through their own things as like a expressional outlet. And sometimes it's for a good cause. You know, you got people making musics and videos and stuff, and then you got people who just want to make a scene and feel validated by angering others. And whether or not that's called for can be a case by case scenario or a discussion for another time. But it was impressive for the film to really hit on a lot of these points. There's a lot of times where something happens to a character, and because it's happening to them and only them, the rest of the digital universe just frankly doesn't care, and they'll just give opinions. They'll send their opinions, whether it be a positive one or a negative one, and you just never really know what that means once it comes out to the other person, because again, we don't know every situation ever, and that's unfortunate. But I think watching this film kind of gives us I want to say hope, but hope would be if like it became a big internet sensation and it meant something for the greater people in real life. But for those of us that did get to watch it and had fun watching it, at least it's a very nice thought piece on the ideas of what are we doing when we say things like that, and is it necessary, and how much longer do we want to keep on behaving certain ways. So it was nice, you know. It's definitely a good thought process on this film, and seeing it again 3 times, you'll go back and you'll see all the little details that just kind of help express. You'll notice certain expressions on characters because they've been holding on to this emotion from the beginning of the film, but is it until the end of the film that you come to understand why. And that's really important, right? It's good that we don't assume all the time. Sometimes assumptions are for protection, or sometimes they're for self-validation. But I think maybe the less we jump to a conclusion, the less sooner we jump to a conclusion, maybe the more time we have to understand. And that's a really good idea in my opinion. But yeah, definitely love this film. Getting on the romantic side of things is, again, it's not a 1-to-1 remake or like a following. It's a retelling of Beauty and the Beast, or at least that storyline, in the modern era of digital technology and a universe, another universe, a fantastical world where anything can happen, anyone can be anyone, and you don't have to be yourself, whether that be a good self or a depressed self or a hurt self. You could be more than that. That's what this veil of secrecy gives you, a little bit of encouragement. And it's up to us, each individual, to decide whether we want to use it for something good, or we just want to keep on complaining and arguing with each other and just being mean and spiteful. And yeah, it's a I think we needed this. In terms of like a thinking piece, I think we needed something like this, and I'm so glad that this studio got to it because they are known for having emotional moments and just really hard thought pieces or really striking thought pieces, and it's cool, man. I'm trying to find Makoto Shinkai. This is the other guy I'm thinking about, the one who did Weathering with You. This is what is that? The other homie, Soda, Mamoru Soda, which the Boy and the Beast. It was, you know, Left of Time, and he did one more. I can't remember, but yeah, definitely cool. Romantic side. The romanticism in this, because you're thinking Beauty and the Beast, and you're thinking, oh, they're gonna get married at the end, or they true love is what brings them to be human or whatever. Spoilers for Beauty and the Beast. But that's not the end goal in this film. And the end goal is something more of the along the lines of, how can I help you? I understand that you're going through something, and I realize that you don't have many options, or else you would have done something about it. Assuming, how can I help you? Because as a great man and now a great female once said, with great power comes great responsibility. And I only say that because I swear Spider-Man No Way Home was going to be movie of the year. Because, come on, it is an amalgamation of all the Spider-Man movies, and it's amazing. But real talk, seeing this film, at least, I've seen Spider-Man like 5 times, 6 times, I don't know. I've seen this film 3 times, and there is a scene towards the end where Mamoru and Studio Chizu go like, "All right, look at me. If you're not crying by this scene, you don't have emotions, or something's wrong. You need to look it up." And I swear, dude, every time that scene got to me, because it's just the climax of all these emotions being put out there, and this final like reach for like, let me help you. I want to help, and that's beautiful, especially because it's two strangers meeting, and then realizing that they're not perfect, or everyone has their issues, but the other one, at least one of them, reaches out to try and help, and that's great, man. Like I said, I think we definitely needed something like this, specifically in this time when we're all stuck at home, or most of the people haven't been out and about, and we've lost that sense of mostly that sense of like human interaction. It's still there, but for example, I worry about my little personal my nephews that are growing up in this generation of stay at home, don't go to school yet. And sure, they're going back to school now, but like the idea of like, how will that change in our future? What will become normal in that sense of, maybe you don't have to go to work or something, or you can work from home, and things like that. I just kind of think about their future and how their generation will be different than mine, just like my generation is different from my parents, and yada yada yada. Um, but yeah, so I love this movie. I love this movie so much. I've seen a couple of people online talking down on it, and sure, I understand that it's not maybe like the most beautiful animated. I would probably give something like that more to these guys, because they have that nice animation pop. But that's not the point, in my opinion. That's never been the point. The point is to tell the story and to get you to think a certain way, and hopefully get you to work some things out and make tomorrow a better day. Because in the end of the day, we're all human, and that's all we can do. One day at a time, one step at a time. So definitely very cool. It is still around in theaters. It is currently, what's today? Alexa, what's today? What is today?
It's Saturday, January 22nd.
Saturday, January 22nd. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Sorry, I'm not sure about that.
Thank you, friend.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
You gotta be nice to your AI. But yeah, definitely. It's around. I want to say maybe they'll have another week in theaters. If you have not had the chance to check it out, I highly recommend it. If you have any Disney fans, I would just say, look, Beauty and the Beast in anime. You're gonna like it. And yeah, hopefully it does well. I didn't want to put anything on YouTube because I just use a little picture, but definitely muted. You can see a little bit of the background. Definitely, this is like a little musical on YouTube, so it's not spoilery, but you know, it's part of the movie. But yes, it's definitely very cool. I like this idea of life, and you gotta carry on, but you don't always have to do it alone. You don't always have to take everything on by yourself, and it gets harder and harder to find people who generally care and who generally will take time out of their busy schedule, out of their stressful lives, out of their depressing lives to reach a hand to someone else. And I think my hope and my wish is that for anyone that has that extra oomph to just lend a hand, if you can, there's some people out there that just really have a hard time accepting things, and will bring you down with them, because unfortunately some people, that makes them feel validated to bring you down to my level, and then I'll feel better about myself. But for everyone else that just really needs someone to talk to, we're out there. So reach out. And everybody, if you need a hand, reach out. If you have a hand, reach out. With great power comes great responsibility. And this movie is amazing. I will be buying it. I really hope there's a 4K version, because it was on IMAX. I have a poster. I'll be right back. It's an IMAX, and there better be a 4K IMAX version. Mana. Kawaii desho ne. Yep. Le. Beru. Like that. So yeah, very cool. I thought it was good. I'm glad that the anime scene is starting to be more normalized, and thankfully AMC plays a lot of anime movies in IMAX when they get a chance. I saw Ghost in the Shell, so I appreciate, and I would love to support it more and more, so it can just keep on growing. But that's about it for the Belle review. If you guys have any questions, please shoot them my way. I will do my best to respond and come around. And yeah, I amazing movie. I can't recommend it. And the idea that it's nice. It's nice to see things from a different perspective and try to work things out. Unfortunately, they're just characters on the screen, or animated characters on screen, but the emotions are real, because we all go through them, and it's nice to work with someone to make things happen, because we're a, we're a very communal type of animal, and that's what we do. But that's been my opinions. If you guys have any other opinions or any thoughts, definitely, if you have seen this and you guys know or feel a certain way about it, shoot them my way. I'm open for discussions. We will be around, and I'm gonna try to catch it one more time. We'll see if it's around the area, but I'll try to see if I can see it one more time. Because it's good. I want to try catching it before it's gone for like 6-7 months until the 4K Blu-ray release comes out. So we'll get there. We will get there. But thank you very much for watching.